and welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing to you our brand new die set, Tada Diorama Shop Add-on. And what this die set does is it takes the really awesome interactive die set, Tada Diorama, and it turns it into the cutest little shop. You could create any shop in your imagination, and today we're going to be doing an ice cream shop and a sewing shop. So let's go ahead and take a look at all of the things in the Tada Diorama Shop Add-on. There's a window frame and also an awning. There is a window creator and then this cute little sign which you could put different things depending on what shop you're creating, and that's the window creator there. There is a cute little sign you can hang and the cutest little hanging pot which you can layer your flowers in, and then we also have a heart and a star which you can use to decorate. Now this little frame here, you can see that it has the backer there and you can stamp different things on it, and we'll show you how to do that in just a bit. And this right here is the window creator, and then that other piece is the piece that goes behind it. And we're going to show you how to use all of these pieces right now. So first we're going to start by creating a Tada diorama, and if you've never made a Tada diorama before, make sure to check out the intro video. We will link it in the description below. So we're starting off with this main base piece, and we're going to die cut that out of white cardstock and out of some of this pint-sized pattern summertime paper. There's a really cute multicolored dot, and this piece is going to be the back piece, and the plain white piece is going to be our front window. So for the front window in the original Tada diorama, there is a rectangular window shape, and that's the one that we're going to be using to create this cute little shop. So we're going to take that and we're going to center that into that main base piece, hold it in place with some low-tack tape, run it through the die cut machine, and now we're going to have a window opening and then also the back of our Tada diorama. We're going to put the back piece aside for now, and we're going to decorate the window. And we're going to do that by using the brick stencil. And this is going to help give it that shop feel, because we're going to be kind of looking at the shop and then opening up the Tada diorama to see what's inside. So we're going to use the brick stencil and also some merman ink for a nice bright pop of color. I'm creating an ice cream shop here, so we're going to be using a lot of bright summery colors that are just going to be such happy colors for an ice cream shop. So I'm just bringing that ink right over the stencil and just blending it right over top. Quick and easy. I can peel up the stencil and you can see just how cute the brick looks on that window. Next, we're going to take out the Tada Diorama Shop add-on pieces. And you can see I have all of the pieces together here. And we're going to be using this big frame piece. And this is a nice little frame for this window. And so I'm going to die cut this out of some more pint-sized patterns. We're going to be using a ton of this paper. That way everything coordinates nicely together. And I'm cutting it out of some of the green paper. We're going to add some liquid glue to the back of the frame and then layer that right on top. And you can see how this is going to really frame the opening doors to our shop. We're going to put this front window piece aside and start working on the side panels. So we're going to take out the Tada diorama die again and take the side panel piece, and we're going to die cut some of this really pretty purple paper with the tiny little hearts on it from the pint-sized pattern collection. And we're going to die cut 2 of these. Then we're going to take out the slot creator pieces that are also a part of the Tada diorama, and we're going to line these up on the side panels. The slot creators have these little feet there on them. That little foot right there, that is going to point towards the bigger side of the panel. So you're going to put it in between the 2 score lines, and you'll see that on that right side there, there is a bigger panel. That little foot is going to point towards the bigger panel, and it's going to line up along the bottom there, and we're going to hold that in place. Then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. The little foot's going to point towards that bigger panel, and it's going to go in between the 2 score lines, and then we're going to hold that in place with some low-tack tape. Then we're going to run those both through the die cut machine, and you'll see that that's going to create our slots in perfect placement to create our interactive mechanism. Now we've created these side panels exactly how you do for any Tada diorama, but now we're going to bring out this shop add-on here and this little window creator, and you'll see that there's this little metal piece at the bottom. That is going to line up along the bottom and right against that score line right there. So there's a score line there, and you're going to line up that die right with it. So what I'm going to do is actually bring out the actual die so it's a little bit easier to see. And you'll see how there's that middle score line there. You're going to take the window creator, and it's going to line up right against that score line and right along the bottom, just like that. So we're going to do that on our real piece now. We're lining up against that middle score line. We're lining it up with the very bottom of the side panel. Then we can hold it in place with some low-tack tape. And then we'll run it through the die cut machine, and you'll see as we lift it up, it creates the cutest little window opening with an adorable stitch detail. Now we can repeat the same thing. There's that middle score line. We're going to line up against the middle score line and against the bottom of the side panel, hold it in place with some low tack tape. We're going to run it through the die cut machine, and that's going to give you this great little stitched window. Now that we have our windows done, we're going to work on the back of the window. So there's this open die here. This is the window backer piece. And we're going to start off by cutting 2 of these out of vellum. And that's going to give that kind of frosty glass look for our shop. So we're going to flip these both over, and I'm going to use my glue tube. I'm going to add glue all the way around the outside edge of the window. And then you'll see that this piece is perfectly sized to fit behind the window. And that's going to give you this gorgeous vellum look. Now you could just also put pattern paper or colored cardstock behind the windows, but there's something about the vellum that I really love that gives it that just really cool look like you are looking through a window. So now we're going to go ahead and die cut that same polka dotted paper that we die cut the back piece with at the beginning. And so we're going to go ahead and add some glue right around the window again and then layer this behind. And so this is going to give a really cute decorated window that also has that frosty look. You can see just how pretty that is. And then we'll repeat the same exact thing on the other piece. We'll add our glue, and then we'll add our cute pattern paper piece. So that way we're looking through the vellum right into that pretty pattern paper. And I just love how these are looking. So now the next thing we need to do is fold along those score lines that the die created for us. So we're going to fold along both of those and then use a bone folder to reinforce the folds so that they're nice and crisp. And we'll do that on both pieces. Then we're going to bring in that back piece that we cut towards the beginning of the video. We're going to fold our pieces in half, and we're going to add some adhesive on that skinny panel there that doesn't have the slot openings. So we'll add some adhesive right there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the slot openings are along the bottom. So not at the top, but along the bottom. We can flip it over, and all we need to do is just line it up with that outside edge of the main base piece. You'll see a little bit of the pattern paper is peeking out at the top and the bottom of the side panel. That's exactly how you want it to look. So we're going to add some adhesive on that skinny panel, make sure the slots are at the bottom, and now we can just butt these 2 pieces up together and press down, and that'll secure them in place, and you can kind of start to see this little shop start to form. We're going to take this piece and put it aside, and now we're going to work on our front window opening. So there's this band creator piece in the Tada diorama, and we're going to die cut that out of some white cardstock, and we're going to die cut 2 of those. That die has a score line along the top and the bottom, and so we're going to fold that score line on both the top and the bottom, and then we're going to do that on both pieces. Then we're going to add some adhesive to the top and bottom tabs of the band, and we're going to line it up on the back of our window piece, and you'll see how the little notch is going to line up on both the back piece and the band. Then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side, making sure to attach it so that that notch piece is lined up perfectly with the notch on the band. Then we're going to take this window piece and we're going to set it aside because we need to add some floors into our shop. So we're going to bring back the piece with the side panels, and then we're going to take out one of the insert pieces. This is the original insert that comes with the original Tada diorama. And we're going to die cut that out of, you guessed it, some brand new pint-sized patterns paper so that everything coordinates so beautifully. And we're going to die cut it out of this yellow grid, and we're going to die cut 2 of those. Then to give the feeling of kind of like baseboards, we're going to use this brand new scalloped fringe die. It has this nice decorative little border. We're actually just going to use that little decorative border and die cut that out of some white cardstock, and it's going to make the perfect baseboard. So I'm just adding some liquid glue right to the top of this little panel, and I'm just going to layer this piece on there, and then we can just cut off any of the excess. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side, adding some glue right along the top and lining up our cute little baseboard right there, and you can see these floors start to form. Now it's time to add the inserts into the Tada diorama. So we're going to fold back along those little tabs on the top and bottom on both sides. Then we're going to feed that panel through the slot and then open up those little tabs to secure it in place, and repeat the same thing on the other side. So we'll feed it through the slot, and then we can open up those tabs, and that's going to help hold our little insert right in place. Then we'll repeat the same thing with the other insert. We're going to fold back all of those little tabs, and we're going to add them into the slot, and then we're going to open up the little tabs there so that it can hold it in place. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. We'll feed it through the slot, and then we'll just open up those tabs. And now you can see how we have the inserts in the Ta-Da diorama. And now we're finally ready to add the window piece on. So you'll see those little bands that we added. We're just going to feed the side panels right through the band, just like that. And then we'll repeat the same thing on the other side. So we're just going to feed that panel right through the band. And now we've attached our window to the front there. And so you can see we have our interactive mechanism, and we're looking into this cute little shop. Now the next thing we're going to do is take the shop add-on and die cut this cute little awning. We're going to die cut it out of some white cardstock and then also out of this stripe paper. Now this stripe is diagonal, but I wanted it to be straight down stripes, and so we're just going to actually take the die and just turn it on the paper and run it through the die cut machine just like that, so that we have straight down stripes. And right now I am creating a card inspired by both Mindy and Maureen, so thank you guys so much because your cards are just so cute. So we're going to add some tape runner on the colorful one, and then we're just going to layer it on the white one with just a little bit of the white peeking out, just to give it a nice little shadow. Then for this awning, you can really put it anywhere that you like. You can put it all the way up towards the top. You can put it right on like the edge of the window down like that, or you can kind of split the difference. And for this one, I think I'm going to split the difference a little bit. So I'm just going to take some nice strong tape. This is some 1/4 inch tape, and I'm just going to layer it on the top of the awning. I don't want adhesive to go too far down because the awning is overlapping that opening. And then I'm just going to close the whole shop there, and then I can just kind of look and see how I think it's going to look cutest, and then we're going to layer it on there. And it's when you add this awning on that really just makes the whole thing look so, so cute. So now that our cute little shop is starting to form, we're going to add some of the decorations. And there's so many cute decorations in the shop add-on, but one of my favorites are these little hanging planters. So we went ahead and die cut these. The base is out of white. The little planters are out of the green that matches the little frame around the window opening. And then the little flowers are out of some pink cardstock with some yellow to back behind them to fill in those little flower centers. Then we're going to layer the little flowers right into the pots, and that's the cutest little thing. I just love it so much. We're going to add some liquid glue to the pots and then just center them right in the window. And I think that's just giving that cute little kind of like downtown shop feel. I just think is so adorable. And so you can see we can open it up still, and we can look inside into our shop. And now we're going to bring out the brand new treat card stamp set because it has the cutest ice cream images that are so perfect for this little shop. There is this cute little pennant flag here, and so we're going to layer that right into the shop there just to add some cute little decoration in some rainbow colors to match our rainbow awning. Then we're going to take the little bear, and he's going to go on the back of that back insert there. So you'll see he kind of looks like he's in the back there selling his cute little ice cream treats. Then there's all of these adorable little ice cream images in the treat card stamp set, and there's this little display, and so we're going to glue displays on either side of the bear, and you can just see how adorable that is. And then I'm going to glue some of the individual treats, and we're going to add those to the back of that front panel. Again, like there's almost like a little display where you could pick out different ice cream treats. Then we're going to take some of the other critters and we're going to layer them on the outside of the shop. And I really like doing this for two reasons. One, it really feels like people are coming into the shop, but then when it's closed, there's still some cute decorations as well with that cute little bunny and fox. So we're going to add that adorable little sign with some different flavors they might have in the shop. And then we're going to have the bunny and the fox, and I'm going to add a liquid glue to each of their little paws. And the fox there is going to hold the popsicle, and then the bunny is going to have a little sundae that she's going to hold. And so I just think that's just really, really cute. Now, the shop add-on has this adorable little sign that's perfect for like a little menu. You could stamp images in it, or in the treat cart stamp set, it's really cute because there's a bunch of different phrases that actually fit. So the flavors word in the treat cart fits right into this little piece. We made sure to size everything so that you can mix and match these so well. Then we can stamp the little flavor options right there into the menu. And there's a teeny tiny little ice cream cone in the treat cart stamp set too. And I'm going to stamp that on either side just to add a cute little decoration. And then I'm just going to take my markers and just add some color to the little cones. I just think it's adorable to have a little bit of color on this menu. It's going to go in the back, so I like that it's going to kind of match all the sweet treats too. So now that we've added some color to those cute little ice creams, I'm also going to take a light blue marker and I'm just going to line the whole frame because I feel like it makes it pop and it makes it feel not like it's just plain white cardstock, right? It just gives it like a nice little shadow. Then we can add some liquid glue to the back of the decorative frame that says flavors on it and layer that over top. And is that not the cutest little menu board you've ever seen? You could imagine you could shop your stash for other foods, or like Shari is going to show you in a little bit, she shopped her stash for some sewing themed things to create a sewing shop. So there's so many fun ideas, and I am getting so excited to think about all the cute shops that you guys are going to create. So right now we're going to add that menu, and we're going to add it all the way to the back wall. And I think that gives some really nice dimension when you look in there to have things on every one of the layers. And then I'm also going to give the little bear an ice cream to hold too, because I just think it's so cute how his paw is up. So we're just going to add a little ice cream into his paw too, so he matches all the other little friends that we have on this cute shop. Now, the treat cart sentiment add-on has some really cute sentiments in it, and I really love the congratulations. So we're going to stamp that in some black licorice ink on some white cardstock. And in the Ta-Da diorama, it comes with these two cute little banners. And so one of those banners was the perfect size for this congratulations phrase. So we're just going to line up the banner. We can hold it in place with some low tack tape, and then we'll run it through the die cut machine. And then we'll have this super, super cute sentiment. And I'm going to layer that right onto the awning. I think that's a really, really fun place to hide the sentiment. You could also layer it along the bottom or even put it on one of the little floorings too. There's so many cute ways to add the sentiment to this card. Then next, I've created a card base to be the same size as the Ta-Da diorama because I really wanted it to be this cute mini card. So we're going to add some adhesive to that, and then we're just going to layer that right onto the back of our whole Ta-Da diorama mechanism. That way we can put our message inside, super, super cute. And then on the outside, we're going to have this adorable shop. And here is a look. When you open it up, you see the cutest little ice cream shop in the world. These pattern papers are so adorable. The polka dot on the back, I think, matches the ice cream theme so much. I love the little flowers in the windows and how much dimension these cards have. They are so much fun. I love that they fold completely flat for mailing with standard postage, but when the recipient opens it, they get the cutest surprise. This add-on set is also a perfect place to be able to kind of shop your stash and create all sorts of different shops themed to the recipient that you're creating the card for. So this was so much fun to create, and I cannot wait to see the shops you're going to create. And now Shari is going to create the cutest shop for you guys. So take it away, Shari.
So for my card today, I am using papers from the Pint Size Patterns Summertime Collection. I love this new pattern paper collection with those little designs, but I'm also pulling in some of the Rainbow Ever After paper with those little polka dots. And today we're creating a Ta-Da shop, and I am creating a sewing shop. So I cut the background panel from the polka dots, that's the wallpaper. I've cut the front panel from the blue and the two side panels that we pull from yellow, and then the inserts I cut from kraft. Now to look at the add-ons for the shop add-on, I cut that little canopy from the pink with the stars, and then I have all the pieces for the sign and the little pot of flowers that will hang on the door. But now I need to take these two side pieces, I'm going to fold them and kind of lay them the way they would be when they are closed. So I'm folding on those score lines, and I actually need to go ahead and cut the little slots in them. So you want to line these up with the arrows towards the bottom and the little toe of that little foot shape towards the larger panel, which will be the front panel. This is going to cut those little slots where our inserts are going to go. So I'll go ahead and cut those. And here I have my little slots. This is just going to help me know where the top and the bottom is. So I'm going to fold this as if it's closed, and then this is where the little shop add-on window comes in. So it has that little rectangular piece at the bottom. So you want to make sure that that's lined up with the bottom and the fold side. And then I'm going to hold this in place with a little bit of tape and run that through the die cut machine. Then I'll do the same thing to this side. It's going to be on the other side because the fold is on the other side. So along the bottom and the fold side. I'll run that through, and now I have two pieces, and here when I fold them you'll see this is what I was going for, which is why we have that rectangle at the bottom to show you where to put it. And this is also why, because when the cover is on, those windows need to be centered closer to the middle. So there is a die that cuts a piece that you can layer behind the window, and I'm going to cut that from some pearlescent vellum. I think that is a really pretty look to have that kind of shimmer of that pearlescent vellum. And I will layer those behind there in just a minute. There is also a die that cuts a frame to go around the opening, and I cut this from some fog cardstock. So I'm just adding that to my front panel, and now I am on the back side of my little panels that pull, and I will layer this pearlescent vellum on the back side so that you see it through the opening. You could fill this with anything you wanted, but I just like the shimmer and the translucence of that pearlescent vellum. So now I'm going to work on the inserts that go inside the shop, and I wanted to make them look like countertops. And I cut them from some kraft cardstock, and now I'm going to add some wood grain with some dough ink. And this is the Woodgrain Backdrop stamp, and you can tell mine is very well loved. I have used it a lot, but it's a really fun way to add a wood grain look to a die cut. So I really love using the dough ink for this as well because you kind of get a tone on tone look and it's not too overpowering. So now we have our little wood countertops, and of course, I should say counter space. Now I need to create the countertop, and I thought I would pull out this little very pale pink stripe from the Rainbow Ever After pattern paper set, and it has the lines with a little stitching detail in it, and I'm just using those as a guide to cut some little countertops to go on top. You could also use a die that cuts a strip with a stitching detail down the middle. That would also be cute, but I thought I would show a different way to do this. And then I will just add this to the top side of my little inserts with some liquid glue. I am making it go all the way across just so it kind of gets hidden inside and you don't see the end of that countertop. So just a little line of glue all the way across, and then we will trim it off. And that'll just give it a nice finished look. Now I've moved back to my panels on the front, and I'm assembling this little hanging pot of flowers. So there is a piece that has the body of the pot and a hanger, which I cut from some narwhal cardstock. There is the little pot, which I cut from the same pattern paper as the canopy. And then I have the flowers. So there's the solid flowers that are yellow, and then the flowers that layer over top that are purple. And so now we have yellow centers in our flowers. And I'm just adjusting this a little bit, and then I will glue this right onto the center of that pearlescent vellum like it is hanging on the window. Now for the other window, I used the die in this die set that is a little sign. And I like that it has a cute little stitching detail around it. And I pulled out the Village Shops stamp set because I knew there was a little stamp in there that said open. And I'm going to stamp that right along the bottom of this square. There are other little words in that stamp set too, like toys and pets and shop if you wanted a different sign for a different kind of shop. But since I have a sewing shop, I stamped this little button from the So Very Mice stamp set, and I'm just going to color that in with my marker. And then I thought it would be good to add some more details to this. So I'm coloring the string where the sign is hanging with a different color. And then I also traced right around that stitching line to create a little frame on this. I just felt like it made it match the flowers on the other window a little bit better to have these added little color details. So I'll just put some liquid glue on the back of that and center it right up in my window to match my flowers on the other side. Now I need to cut those little strips that go on the back and hold our little panels that pull. And I just cut these from some white cardstock. I've folded where the score line is, so I have those little tabs that fold in, and I'm adding some glue to those, and I'm lining this up with the little notch on the back side of my front frame. And my frame is cut from some 12 by 12 paper, which is why there is stripes on the back of it, which would make a really cute frame too if you flipped it the other way. Next up, I can add my 2 panels that we pull by adding some adhesive to that last little piece at the end back there. So we have like the big panel, the panel with the slots, and then we're gonna have the adhesive panel. We're going to line this up on the back panel that I cut out of the polka dot paper, and I lined up one side and then I bumped the other one right up against it. Now for our little countertops that we created, we're going to fold the tabs in, thread it through the slot, and then open them back up. And I actually like to fold my tabs towards me because I feel like I can push them down and get a hold of them better. So it really doesn't matter which way you fold them because you're going to open them up once they're through that slot anyway, and then it will hold them in place and they can slide around in those slots freely. So now we have our little countertops. And I'm going to flip this over and thread these 2 yellow panels through those slots that I created and see how it's working. And that's really cute. I'm really excited about this. This part right here is my favorite though, the little canopy. I think that just completes the whole look perfectly. So I've added a little bit of liquid glue to the frame and we're adding the canopy and now it looks like a shop. So now our shop obviously needs a sign, and I'm using the sentiment that says, "You are so amazing." I have a piece of fog cardstock. This is actually what was left over from where I cut the frame that went around our opening. And I'm just selectively inking my stamp to stack my sentiment so that I have 2 lines of text. And then I'm just going to trim this down. I felt like the width was perfect and it just needed to be trimmed into a rectangle. And then I'm putting this on the top of my little canopy. I think that this is a really fun way to add a sentiment to this little shop storefront. Now you can see I have colored and cut out lots of images from So Very Mice, from You Autumn Know, from Whoosh Kites. I have some mice from lots of different sets. And then of course I have all these fun sewing accessories. So I thought that was a fun way to decorate my little sign. I'm going to take that inside piece out so I can lay this a little bit flatter and glue all my pieces onto the front of my shop. So I have the little thread over there with a little tail, which I thought was fun, some scissors, and then I'm going to add a little button as well. And of course, we need some mice hanging out outside our sewing shop, so I pulled in some elements from Sewn with Love, like this little tomato pin cushion here for this little mouse from You Autumn Know. I'm going to put him over here on the left. Make sure that I have no adhesive past that window opening. Then for these little mice over here on the right, that spool also comes from the Sewn with Love stamp set. Then I have this little mouse, I believe he's from Bubbles of Joy. And I like that he's kind of looking up at the sign. I think that's kind of fun. And then I'm going to call this Yay Mouse number 2 because I call the one on the left Yay Mouse. This one's from Whoosh Kites, but to me, they're both saying yay with those hands up in the air. I do have a little shelf from the Perfectly Wicked stamp set, and I thought that was perfect to add to the wall. This will give me another place to add some decorations inside the shop. So I have all these little spools that I colored in a rainbow of colors, and I thought it would be fun to make a little stack of spools. These are going to go on that countertop in the back. And it's a lot easier to kind of make the little stack and then put them inside. And I'm checking to make sure that it is far enough in to where it doesn't impede the movement of my card. I'm also adding some spools to that little shelf in the back. Then of course I have this cute little dress and I'm going to check this one too and make sure it's not too far over and that little countertop can still slide around in there like it needs to. And now I'm ready to add some little worker mice inside my shop. So I have this little lady working on the dress form, and I added a ribbon to the shelf. I wanted to put this one with the hoop back there, but it felt a little too big, so I went with always my favorite, the one with the thimble on his head. I just love him so much. So he's sitting on the countertop in the back. and I'll check it to make sure he is far enough over and we're good. Then I also have this cute little baby mouse, which is from Bubbles of Joy as well, and I just love that there's some little baby mice to kind of mix in to these little scenes. I have another spool up there, so I'm going to fill in that shelf and then add some little buttons around. I added one to her hand. You could also add the needle and thread, but I like the little buttons. And then I pulled out the front one because I thought it would be fun to have this little piece of thread that is from Sewn with Love kind of fall down from the shelf in the back. And I was having trouble putting these things in with all this stuff in front. So luckily you can easily remove the inserts, and I'm just going to add this like it's kind of coming down from underneath those ribbons. And that looks good. It ends up right between the mouse and the little stack of spools, so that's perfect. I'm just kind of checking everything here. And that all looks really good. I was trying to figure out where to put this last little spool, and I think just down here to fill in that front countertop is good. I had one more button to add in there, and then I'll go ahead and put my inserts back into my little ta-da mechanism. I do like that it is easy to pull them out and decorate them or fix things and then pop them right back in. So now that my shop is all filled and all the little mice are working, I can flip all this back over and insert those back into the slots. So my outside piece is decorated and my inside piece is decorated, and this is just so cute. But I do want to add this to a card base. So I have a piece of pink spiffy speckles paper that I've cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm just going to add this to a card base. Then I'm pulling out some of that purple gridded paper from the Pint-Sized Patterns Summertime collection. I'm going to add this along the bottom, kind of like the sidewalk. I mean, it's a purple sidewalk. Why not? And then my shop will fit perfectly right on the front. So I will add my adhesive to the back of this whole mechanism that I've created, and then center that up on the card base. And excuse my head, I'm just making sure it is nice and centered. And I like to open it up and kind of push that adhesive down. Now, of course, I had this little guy left over that I didn't end up using inside, so I thought, let's add some of these leftover elements to the inside of my card. And for this one, you can stamp stuff in the hoop, which I think is a lot of fun. I'm going to stamp the little stitched heart in some pink ink. And then here is my finished sewing shop card with all those cute little mice, with all the sewing supplies, and I just think that this turned out so cute, and it was so much fun to create and fill with all these cute little items. I think you can make all kinds of different little shops.
Oh my goodness, Shari, this card just makes me smile. The little sewing shop, it reminds me of my grandmother. I love it so much. It's so sweet. And now these incredible cards by the design team. This little shop by Grace, when you open it up, look at it. It's like a little bakery with little coffee cups and macarons, and it's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. This card here by Maureen is the sweetest ice cream shop, and all of her colors inspired me to make mine. I think they are just the happiest and cutest colors for an ice cream shop. This is the card by Mindy that inspired me for my layout. I really loved her layout and how she used the brick, and this little ice cream shop just makes me smile, and I love the little hanging planter in the front. Oh my goodness. Elena was so creative, and she used these elements on a little box instead of the ta-da diorama, and that's one thing that I really love about this die set is that you could use these elements on a card front and not necessarily only on a ta-da diorama. And then we have this super cute card by Rebecca. I love how she used the Rainbow Ever After papers. The pastels are perfect for this ice cream shop. So we cannot wait to see all of your ta-da diorama shops, so make sure to share them with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and we hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!